Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thanks for jumping in. Good morning. We're going to get started shortly. Good morning. Good morning, good morning.
Good morning, Ricardo. Great to see you. Good to be able to join you this morning.
Good morning. Well, welcome. Thank you for joining in.
Absolutely. Long time not being able to join you, but I'm looking forward to being a part of it. I have a meeting I may top off on, but I'm looking forward to being here.
Awesome. Did you bring any guests with you?
Not today, I've been approached to go to Egypt 3 times this year, and I thought I would just take a moment to learn more about the business side of the opportunity before making any of those decisions.
Fantastic. Well, we're going to get started in just a moment. Thanks for
All right.
coming.
Absolutely. Have a grand day today.
You too. All right, all right. Good morning, everybody. Thanks for jumping in. Welcome to the Power Hour. Today is August 5th. Oh, wow. 2006. I can't believe that the year is almost finished. My name is Ricardo Beris, Chairman of the Global Opportunities Committee of the Atlanta Black Chamber. Thanks for sharing your Wednesday morning with me, with us, and good afternoon if you are outside of Eastern time zone. Just a few housekeeping matters. If there's a guest that you know who should be here and it's not, just tap them on their shoulder or nudge them rather, let them know that we're getting started. This is a recorded session, so if you would like to rewatch it, we'll post it out on YouTube shortly thereafter, and so you get a chance to rewatch this session. For those of you who are new to the GOC, to the Power Hour, welcome. The Global Opportunities Committee of the Atlanta Black Chamber focuses on opportunities around the world for you, whether those are trade opportunities, investment or opportunities, or simply partnership opportunities. And so we believe that the world is your oyster. You've always heard that. And it is a small place, even today, than it was 50, 100 years ago. And so who says you can't do business in another jurisdiction? Who says you cannot trade your products or your service across border? Who says you can't? And so we think that you possibly and definitely can. And this is why we focus on this. And our goal for the GOC is that within the next 10 years, we would like to track the transactions that you guys are doing with each other to the tune of $100 billion. So how many of you will actually get started and help us to really prove to those who think that doing business internationally are just for the big guys of the world? And so we think that we could certainly change that one business at a time, one relationship at a time. So thank you for jumping in. We of course, are producers of the Go Global Conference. Every year, we bring together people from around the world. We invite them into Atlanta to connect and do business with each other. So that's actually coming up this year. In a few weeks, September 30th to October 3rd, we'll be right here in Atlanta. If you have not yet secured your spot, feel, well, I'm not sure what you're waiting for, but the time is running out. The Go Global Conference is all about connecting you with people who would like to do business with you. So if that's what you're looking for, if that actually helps your business to grow, and if you're looking to set yourself up for more success in 2027, register for the conference. Let's make sure that you are in. You can't just get a ticket to come to the conference. We need to know who you are. We need to know what you do, what you're offering, your capabilities. So essentially, we need to get your business profile, and that's a very powerful um, um, uh, uh, piece of sort of information that we collect to help you to find opportunities to do business with each other. And we also have coming up on the 19th of August, you'll be seeing some materials this week. We're inviting you to participate in or virtual trade mission to Central Africa. So we had plans to go to Central Africa in August, but due to the current situation in the region, we've decided to pivot to a virtual trade delegation. So if you'd like to meet business owners and if you'd like to learn more about doing business in the DR Congo, in Angola, in Mauritius, please join us on the 19th. We're going to be using the Power Hour as a segment to introduce you to a few folks from that region, and then we'll transition into a B2B matchmaking session as well during that time. So if you are interested in meeting folks and being matched essentially with folks from that region, feel free to to join that session. So that is coming up August 19th, and you can look out for that. Later today at 10, I actually host a live session. We're building a technology called Core by Go Global, part of the Go Global ecosystem, and I host a live session every other Wednesday. So today at 10, we'll be looking at the platform. So we are building this technology to really unite everyone who we're dealing with globally to do business with each other. So if you're interested in doing business, being matched on your terms when you'd like to, if you're interested in cultural intelligence, market intelligence, if you're interested in really understanding those who can help you to grow business, then that platform is going to really help you to be successful. So, we one of the goals for the GOC, as I said, is to help businesses to move beyond borders and just simply think, not just thinking internationally, and begin building meaningful relationships to the market, but actually doing it. And so today we are turning our attention to one of Africa's most strategic position economies, and that's Egypt. And so when many people think of Africa, they often overlook Egypt, I think, and so they overlook the unique role as a gateway that connects Africa, the Middle East, the Europe, and Asia. And so this is an interesting geographic location, and I'm in for some learning today. And this is for us sort of the growing entrepreneurial ecosystem out there, the expanding infrastructure, the increased foreign investment makes it one of the continent's most important business hub. But markets don't create opportunity. Relationships do. And so it's up to you. And so today's conversation is not simply about just Egypt as a country, but it's also about understanding what it actually takes to build a business there and to really establish trusted partnerships on the ground and to navigate the local business environment and identify opportunities that creates value for everyone that's involved. So, we're also going to explore how entrepreneurs from here, from the US and other parts of the world, can engage with Egypt, and not just as a destination, but as a strategic partner for growing across Africa and beyond. And so today I've got two outstanding leaders with me who have firsthand experience, and we're gonna dive in and get to know a little bit more about them, but also give you an opportunity to connect with them as well. This is one of the benefit of being a member of the GOC. You don't need to be in Atlanta to be a part of the GOC. You can be from anywhere, and this is proof that we also have people from Egypt that is part of what we're doing. So let me bring up my guest, Shenika Batchelor, who is the CEO and founder of an amazing organization that is in Cairo, as well as her co-founder, Rachel Marcelle. And so OBLX Hub, we're going to also be talking about OBLX Hub, but I'd love to bring you guys on. Welcome. Good afternoon. It's afternoon in Egypt. I can't remember what time did you say it is. Is it 1:42 now, or is it what time is it out there?
Three forty
Three
two.
3:42. So you do live in the future. Well, welcome to the
Yeah.
Power Hour. Thank you for joining. We certainly appreciate it. I want to start with just getting to know you, and I don't know if anyone here has met you before. So we're gonna dive in and just kind of learn a little bit more. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, and we start with Shanika, and then we'll go to Rachel. Hey, who are you, and why did you go to Egypt, all the way to Egypt to go have some amazing life?
Well, I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I served in the military, the U.S. Navy, for 12 years. And while I was active duty, I had opened my first assisted living up in Milwaukee. Um, I'm a nurse. I have my degree in healthcare administration and business leadership. And pretty much, I decided to move to Egypt to expand my business here. I had so many friends that would, when I come visit, they would ask me about assisted living in the US. And then I had one of my friends from Saudi Arabia just say, hey, why don't you open up one here? And that's what I did. So in the process of opening, we'll be open in November. So I'm excited.
That's awesome. Well, congratulations. That's amazing. So, an American, you decided to go out to Egypt and get set up. We're definitely excited to learn more about that, but I would love to learn more about Rachel before we dive deeper. Rachel, welcome. Thank you. Go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yes, thank you so much, Ricardo. So I'm Rachel Marcelle, and I'm the co-founder of OBLX Hub, as well as of TG Sales Agency based in Orlando, Florida. Why did I come to Egypt? Well, my husband's Egyptian, so I came to Egypt originally in 2015 and have been back and forth, a bit since then, but Egypt is my home. My background is actually corporate. So I actually worked for Sears, which is an old name that everybody knows, but for almost 10 years and took all types of positions, worked from entry level into team management. When I finally left Sears is when I moved to Egypt. And so I just needed to reinvent myself and reinvent my career. And being in Egypt did allow me to do that, which is, how I got started with my sales agency. It's been a transformative journey, seriously, and I'm so grateful to both Egypt and the United States for that. But at this point, we're turning our focus to OBLX Hub, and this is where we're building something which is much bigger than just a networking organization. We're actually forming a long-term commercial bridge between Egypt and the United States. This is going to be helpful to businesses, investors, entrepreneurs, and institutions that are looking for those relationships that will allow us to discover and maintain opportunities to grow across borders. Um, what else would you like to know, Ricardo?
Well, there's a lot that we'd like to know. We're gonna take it easy for the next couple of minutes. But first, let's I always kind of like to get to the one-on-one on this first, the 101, if you may,
Sure.
Egypt 101. So for those who may not actually know much about Egypt business environment and just sort of how would you describe the country today? First of all, where is Egypt? And is it in Africa or is it in, how would you place Egypt? For those of us who've been living under a rock, just kind of got up and you're the first person we're talking to, place Egypt for us geographically. Where is this place? How do you get there?
Egypt is strategically located for the entire world. We are literally located in the center of the world. And we are the gateway to Africa from Europe and the Middle East. Naturally, that means that we're the gateway to those other regions from Africa. So that's where we're located. We have to the east of us the Red Sea, the famous Red Sea with Saudi Arabia on the other side. Of course, we're located to the southwest of Palestine, and we have the Mediterranean to the north of us. So it's an amazing, amazing location.
Okay, so you're in North Africa ideally. So you're on the
Yeah,
continent, and so you're really considered an African nation.
correct.
That's awesome. So
Yes.
so 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 how would you describe how would you describe the country today in its current environment? Or what's your perspective, Shanika?
So the country today, as in investment or just living here, I'll give a
Generally,
little
yeah,
both. So
generally.
when it comes to business and just business opportunities here, it is just full of opportunities, especially if you come in with new ideas or just ways to make things more smooth and operational. It's Egypt is definitely a powerhouse when it comes to the industry of real estate and urban development and even agriculture. It's such a big agriculture. I mean, even living here, I never ate so many fresh things in my life. It's just available everywhere and it's just so cost effective and available for everyone. You see fruit trees everywhere and it's free fruit everywhere. So it's just a beautiful place and has so many opportunities, great people, and they are so open to foreigners, especially the American culture. So it's pretty good out here for me.
Yeah, awesome, awesome. And so as entrepreneurs, from around the world listening, why should people pay attention to Egypt today? Like what's the thing that we should be paying attention to?
Well, when it comes to entrepreneurs here for foreign direct investment, Egypt over the last year has brought in 15 billion dollars worth of foreign direct investment. So it's so many opportunity, and America has been leading the charge of foreign direct investment here. So America itself has been putting so much money into Egypt. So that just lets us know right now that we have a good position here. And above America is the UAE. Of course, they have been putting a lot of money here. It's a very good vacation spot. Like she told you, the Mediterranean Sea and the Red Sea is absolutely beautiful. So when it comes to tourism, it is increasing and expects to increase immensely over the next year to 29%. So when it comes to those things, it's just, like I said, a lot of opportunity for any entrepreneur here.
And I imagine that those are some of the reasons you decided to start up your own businesses in Egypt. Walk us a little bit through that startup process. Like you obviously seem to have a great idea, both of you. Walk us through that startup process from beginning to end to kind of how did you get to where you are now? Was it easy to set up? Just kind of give us an idea as to what you went through so far.
For me, what I went through opening up Amarna, um, assisted living is not really a thing here. They have it, but it is a negative light on it. People put a negative light that they don't want to put their family members in homes. So if you do, uh, you kind of like gave up on your family member. It's not really a good thing. But as I've been doing market research, a lot of people want that American style uh, assisted living. So though it may has a negative connotation on it, a lot of people are really into it. So I haven't even opened up and I already have a wait list. That just shows how open-minded they are for change. And that's the thing. Egyptians are very, very open-minded for change and new things.
And Rachel, what about you? What has your journey been like setting up and getting started?
So it's definitely been different because the businesses that I founded up until now have been virtual. And most of, the biggest difference that I've seen so far is just, needing to kind of understand what's going on the ground. And whether it's through the support of a friend or an attorney, just being able to have somebody to walk you through the steps. Now, it's easy to set up a business in Egypt. It's just getting through the steps. It's, relatively low barrier to entry for a virtual business, I should say. That's why I want to make that clear that there are different experiences just depending on the type of business that you do. But virtually, I found that it's, relatively easy.
And and I know that when we talk about sort of Egypt as a gateway for connecting Africa, Europe, and the Middle East, and sort of you're very strategic placed, um, what does it actually mean from a business perspective? So because the business that you're in it sounds very service oriented, right? But what do you know about those who have actual products? A lot of the folks who are on the call are service businesses as well. Some of them are also running virtual business. They don't actually have a physical office. So it doesn't seem like these things are out of reach, especially doing business out there. But what do you actually, what does it actually mean from the business perspective for Egypt being this gateway getting into the rest of the continent?
Well,
Rachel, do you
first
want to
and
go? Yeah.
foremost, yeah, I'll answer because first and foremost, especially when it comes to physical goods, there are agreements in place between Egypt and the United States that can be and should be taken advantage of. So if you're looking to import, export, there's a ton of opportunity here, and there are already many established businesses, that are exporting from America to Egypt and vice versa. But again, more opportunity is there. So there are different rules about exporting and and importing that if that's your business, you would need to have somebody that can, walk you through it. It depends on where your products are from, so on and so forth. But one thing that we're really interested in, and we've been discussing with our export partners here in Egypt to date, is the fact that there are many different commodities produced here that, could compete with other markets. So right now, if you look at almost anything in the stores in the United States, you'll find it's from China. And Egypt has great products too. There's a great cost opportunity, for purchasing from Egypt. So that's one thing that we're really interested in promoting and helping people with.
Okay. And Shanika, do you have any idea of sort of the different sectors or the different industries that you see that are experiencing growth right now from your
Um,
perspective?
Tourism, agriculture, again, like she said, textile products. Everybody knows about Egyptian cotton and how great it is. They actually just opened up a almost like an Egyptian version of Alibaba, that thing that you have in China. They opened up an Egyptian version of that. A lot of Chinese companies actually are coming here into Egypt too, just because it's so many opportunities and factories to be able to create products here. So I think it's another way of getting products like people would get in China. You can also get it here in Egypt.
And I'm curious, Rachel, sort of what surprises you the most about doing business there?
Surprising is the cultural factor, but I think that that would apply if you're dealing with any cross-border interaction, regardless of what the country is. I think it's important to be culturally aware and understand, the different nuances. And it's just that, you'll find such differences in the way that in the style that people do things. Being open-minded on both sides is really essential.
And Shanika, you both are obviously Americans. and you've decided to live
Yes.
there. I'd love to hear sort of your thought process around that cultural awareness that Rachel talks about, but also how different is it compared to the US culture or other cultures that you're aware of?
To be honest, it's when it comes to consumership here, their behavior is just like Americans. Actually, it's so closely to Black Americans. If you was to put a consumer culture to it and how we spend, how we buy, Egyptians is the exact same. If you were to do a market towards a Black person, you kind of can do the same market plan here in Egypt. It would be pretty successful. Just how I've noticed their consumership here is, um, it is one thing I've noticed. You do have to network out here a whole lot. You got to get to know people. It is a place you got to know somebody that knows somebody type of place. Everything isn't like so available online, where it's easy to find. But it is, people are very friendly and they are so willing to get to know people here and open to foreigners. So, like I said, my experience here has been pretty good. And even the challenge of having language barriers, because I do not speak Arabic at all, I still am able to open up a successful business here. So.
And that was my other thing because just learning about you, you both don't speak Arabic. I mean, you just maybe for conversation, I think Rachel, you alluded to maybe just kind of 10 words or so, or
No, I
conversational
know,
that you may
I
know.
know a lot more than 10 words. I think that's Shenika, but I'm the translator. But basically, for
Yeah.
most of the expats that live here, if I'm out, I'm doing the translating. So I do know quite a bit of Arabic, but of course, it has its limitations. However, people do appreciate, you trying and are supportive and like working with you to speak the language. And of course, knowing a little bit about the language adds another layer to your experience here.
So the fact that you both sort of are learning the language, it doesn't you're saying it doesn't really affect you that much in terms of the business that you're in and doing business.
It does affect you. It affects you. It causes some trouble and stuff, but like I said, with the fact that it's easy to network here and have friends, they are willing to help. It's always somebody here that's willing to help. That's one thing about Egypt. They do have a very kindness of willingness to help people here. So even when I'm somewhere and it's not that I haven't been exposed to Arabic. I actually took it in college. I just not that great at it. So I'm the one that knows a good 10 words, but I still have been able to navigate. And then it's a lot of areas like where I live that it's so many English speaking people. So I go to the grocery store, I go to the mall and everywhere. And it's many people that speak English here. And even in colleges here, they are taught in English. So just know that if it's a person with a higher education, most of the colleges are taught here in English.
So if I'm considering entering the Egypt market, what's the first thing you need me to be aware of? What's the advice that you give me?
Rachel, I'll let you go
For
first.
Yes, absolutely. So for entering the Egyptian market, uh, being aware of, first of all, the industry that you want to get into, of course, the regulatory aspect, right? So that definitely would take coming here. Like Shanika said, networking is very important. But at the same time, the government has a huge push in terms of modernization, not just with the country's infrastructure, et cetera, but also the online capabilities. So there are places that you can go online and do that research. We're also connected to some market research specialists and data providers that can also, just give you some good insights in terms of what you do need to be aware of, because there's a lot. It's kind of a broad question, right? The question is, what do I need to be aware of for what I'm doing in my business? Is how you'd want to look at it, and then tap into those resources accordingly.
Yeah, and I think somebody was asking where in Egypt you are. You're in Cairo, right? And how big is Egypt for just for context, and then how big is Cairo?
If I can give you a geographic example, I think you can fit the state of Texas and Egypt about 4 times. Don't quote me on that. So, and there are about 110 million people living here right now, a combination of Egyptians and people from other countries. So it's a large country, but it's smaller than the United States. Most of the populations live along the Nile. So like we live along Cairo. Cairo is a very, very big city. There are over 25 million people here. And it's also the area is very large. Like for me to drive from where Shenika lives in Cairo to the other end where the new capital city is probably about almost a 2 hour ride, depending on like how you want to get there. So it's massive. Um, I live by the pyramids, and so I live in like one of the older areas of the town. But it is under renovation, and Shanika is living in one of those areas that are like very attractive to expats because sometimes you actually feel like you're back in the United States. That's how
Hmm.
how they've been built.
Oh,
Yeah.
fantastic. Shanika, did you want to share anything? Go ahead.
Yeah, just like she said, the location, Egypt it has so many people and it's so many aspects here. Believe it or not, it's people from everywhere around the world here. I have met so many Americans. It's a lot of Americans here. We actually have a whole group of Americans, just that we socialize, and we have like this Black American group that we do events and stuff here, and help with business and entrepreneurship here too. So we have big support group here already.
Yeah, I see people getting excited in the chat. So I think someone is asking, how far are you from Jordan? I'll probably just throw that question in now that they've asked. What's the distance?
Okay, in kilometers,
I
I'm
believe
not.
that you is uh, okay.
Go
Go
ahead,
ahead, go
Shanika.
ahead.
Uh, I was like, I believe if you're in Sinai, you could take there's a ferry to get to Jordan. It's not far at all though. It's relatively close. They do have like tours that go to Jordan from Egypt.
Okay. So I want to talk about partnerships now and relationships because you guys were talking a little bit about it. You said that you do a lot of networking. You build a lot of those. Tell me a little bit about um, how do you build trust in like what's your formula for building trust in Egypt? What is that like? Rachel?
Yeah, so I actually lead on our like B2B and strategic partnerships, whereas Shanika is more on the community side. Of course, we're working together, but we have those focuses because there you do have to intensely build trust. Meeting people in person is in Egypt is really important, you know. So what that looks like is typically, you can use social media to meet people and comment on posts. You can DM people. As long as you have a really specific purpose that you're contacting them for, they really are very open to it. And you can meet people online if you're not physically in Egypt yet. So people are open to that. And I would just say that um, it's going to really, even though we're saying this is very big in Egypt, it's big in America too. I mean, that's why ABC and this committee exists, right? Because we need our networks. So just being willing to invest that time to get to know people on a personal level as well as a business level. And of course, that means that you're going to be, having dinners and coffees and going to events at least a few times a week.
Yeah. Egypt is a very, when it comes to the trust factor, you know how in America we can hop on a Zoom call and be able to touch base and do business. They are more of let's go out and have coffee, let's get to know each other first, and then we talk business after. They like to handle things on a personal relationship first, just to fill you out, and then they see how you are for business.
Yeah, and so I'm sure as you do that in that process, what do you see, foreigners or foreign business in terms of mistakes? What kind of mistakes you see them making when they're trying to enter into the Egyptian market? Shanika?
Okay, so some of the mistakes that I feel is they think that you really don't need the Egyptians to be able to make things happen. No, you can't do this on your own. You absolutely need to have a good team of personal relationships with the locals here. Also, don't come in with the mindset that you are coming to like change everything. No, you come in to enhance and to add a new perspective, not coming to fix anything. You know, that could be very offensive to people. So just, be culturally sensitive. You would think that because it's a mainly Muslim religion here. So a lot of Christians here. So they just don't base Egypt is not based off of business relationships off of just religion. No. If you see there's people walk around normally, like in America, over here, and it's not so heavily based off of religion. So don't have that misconception of it like you would see in other Arab countries.
Yeah. And Rachel, so what do you think, in the context of Egypt, like what makes a good long-term partner in your mind? I mean, going out for coffee and getting to know each other first, but how do you sort of sustain that? What do you think are some of the characteristics, the traits?
I think that as you get to know people, again, it's not that much different than anywhere else in the world. You need to look for reciprocity and results. So, once you have gotten to know somebody, and of course, you need to bring something of value to the table, right? And invite them to something where they can benefit. But then, like, watch and see what they'll do next. What are they going to help you expand your network? Are they going to invite you to opportunities? And it's really important to watch that because this is a culture where people love to say yes, and they're not doing it to be mean or deceptive or anything. They just love saying yes, and actually sometimes saying no could be considered, harsh. So you just have to, read between the lines, and at the same time, be willing to follow up with people because everybody is busy, in life. And so if you feel like you have a good connection with somebody, don't be afraid to, just put yourself out there a little bit, just to
Yeah.
make sure that, you have that understanding with them.
Yeah, and for those who are just joining, you're a bit you miss a couple things, but we're talking to Shenika Batchelor and Rachel Marcelle, both based in Cairo, Egypt, and Americans doing business in Egypt. So we're really just getting the full 100, if you may, on how business is actually done out there. So you both are co-founders of OBLX Hub. I hope I'm saying it correctly. Tell us a little bit about that. Like, what's the problem that you're trying to solve with this company that you've created?
Yeah, so what we're really looking to do is, first of all, address the gap between Egypt and the United States. Why those two countries? Because they are both very important globally and they're important to us personally. And there is just such tremendous opportunity between the locations right now. So we want people to be aware of that. We want people in the United States to be aware that Egypt is a place that you can come, you can be safe, you can flourish, and we want to make it easier for that to happen. On the other side, we are here for Egyptians because this is our community as well now. So we want Egyptians to be able to have access to even improving access internally within the country and then within the United States also because Egyptians have a ton to offer. So that's the core thing that we're looking to achieve here.
And then Shanika, how does Oblex Hub sort of help? How do you think you can help entrepreneurs to connect and grow in this market?
So our goal is just to make things easier and create a network of businesses and directory of people where you can have access to investors from both the American and Egyptian side. And even now we're getting opportunities from the GCC area too. Also, I'm very passionate about mentorship and helping small business startup because I, of course, was a small business at the age of 23, I mean 26. So I'm definitely passionate about helping other small businesses open up and navigating here and both America and here. So as people that want to get products in the US, we'll find places here that's very cost effective where everybody is profiting and everybody is making money on each end.
Fantastic. And ladies and gentlemen, if you have questions for Shenika and or Rachel, please you start putting them in the chat. We're going to start taking if you want to come on stage and ask your question, we're going to start taking that taking those shortly. So you did mention earlier, both of you, how welcoming Egypt is to international investors, particularly Americans. You can you talk a little bit about sort of that investment? So you are in a business, so obviously you have invested. Um, did you raise that money from within Egypt? Did you raise it outside? How welcoming do you think investors are towards putting their money into Egypt? Shanika?
Um, well, for me, I opened up my assisted living home. I did not raise the money. I actually used my own. I have my own business to leverage opening up here. It's not that I didn't get opportunities. I actually have been asked from some big developers here. It's just I am very, very protective of my business, and I will get partnerships as I grow bigger, of course. But when it comes to people being open, they are very open to investing. Egyptians are very open to investing. They do love the opportunity to work with the American market, and they will jump to that opportunity. It's just getting a lot more people from America interested and knowledgeable about what's happening over here in Egypt is where we're trying to, bridge that gap.
Yeah, thank you, Shanika. And for you both, Rachel, and I want both of you to answer this. I mean, you're women, leading business owners, and so you're actually doing this internationally. So there's so many things, right? Being women, being business owners, doing this internationally. What sort of lessons do you actually have, or have you actually learned as you do this that you can share to benefit other women who are on the call, but just generally other entrepreneurs? Rachel?
But one thing that I have learned in Egypt, especially, is that when you go out into the public or the marketplace and you want to establish yourself, you really need to work on your character development because you will definitely find that people will treat you or they may not understand. It's not that they're treating you poorly, but people don't know you until they know you. So you need to establish a standard for yourself and how you communicate with people, how you manage those negotiations, etc. I think that when you are sure of yourself and you have a plan and a strategy, how you approach things, that's very clear to people and they do respect that.
Shanika?
Well, as most of the world, Egypt also is a male dominant when it comes to business, just like in America. I speak on other panels and stuff. I do let women know that you have to be able to be vocal. You got to learn how to take up space, especially me. I have been in negotiations with nothing but men. And you just have to be very direct and just, stand your ground, know your stuff, and then they absolutely do respect you, especially when they know that you have the knowledge to back up every move that you're making, and they will support that. So as a woman, just learn to be strong and to speak up and to stand your ground. That's all I say.
Yeah, no, thank you. And that means a lot. And so I'm seeing a couple questions already posted in the chat. I want to go ahead and get right to them. Vanessa is actually asking how do you have to have partners in order to export to Egypt?
In order to export to Egypt. So we're not import export experts, but so that's something that we can look into and provide an answer to, and whatever medium is provided. for follow-up. However, if you want to establish a business in Egypt, they've recently removed the requirement that you have an Egyptian partner. So that's a great opportunity. You can now open a business as a foreigner on your own. And just as an asterisk, it can depend on the nationality of the person, but for Americans, it's open.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
I want to give a big shout out to Vanessa. Go ahead, Shanika.
No, I was just saying, yeah, that is it when it comes to uh the freedom of things, being American is just way easier. Okay. American and Europeans are it's a lot easier to get this done.
Awesome, awesome. I want to give a big shout out to Vanessa, and I'm calling her out specifically because she's an inventor of this blow dryer that she has created. It's patented, and she's looking to take that to the world. So, and your hair looks really nice, both of you, and I'm sure you may have to come across a blow dryer on a daily basis before you go out for that coffee or for
Just
that panel
occasionally.
discussion or or occasionally. So
Mhm.
so would really love to see. I think we want to make a case out of Vanessa because I have not met a woman who have created anything concerning air dryer, blow dryer. So I think it's a big thing, and we should really applaud her, and
Ah,
we want to give her her flowers. So if you have any
thanks.
ideas of how you could potentially help her, feel free to reach out. So we do want to track that. I think it's incredible,
Yeah.
by the way, when you can come up with an idea and turn it into something, and the laws that be accepts that as a
Well,
unique idea that no one else has and so you get a patent for
yeah.
it. Shanika?
Well, first, congratulations, Vanessa. My best friend, actually, who lives here in Egypt, also has a patent on a device for locks and natural hair. But one thing about Egypt is they love their hair, okay? And they have it from every texture, curly to straight, 4C, one. So when it comes to hair products here, oh my God, it is and beauty products. It is easy to get into the market here. So if you want to promote those things over here, it is opportunity, opportunity, opportunity.
Yeah, fantastic. And Vanessa is coming to the conference, and you can set up B2B meetings with her. What we're actually going to be helping Vanessa, and we're speaking it out loud because we're going to help her to get into territories. The GOC has footprinted in 45 countries. And with all the information that we have and all the connections that we have, we've got to be able to get Vanessa into some of these territories. And so I'm putting it out there. Egypt is going to be on the list so we can get Vanessa into that market. Elliot asked about to speak to sort of the cost of living comparable to the US. Like, are you able to charge the same sort of prices for your assisted living in Egypt as you do in the US, Shanika?
So I am more based on the luxury side. It is still cheaper than in the US. So that's why I am getting a lot of people, a lot of my 46% of my clients are coming from the US who wants to use their retirement to extend longer. But it is relatively expensive over here. So my charge is about $4,600 a month for memory care. But however, the wages and the cost of operations is so low where, in a good business model, you can make up to 50% profit margins here if you have a great business model and operational standards uh, with a lot of the business here. So.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And Ola has asked about competitive advantage. What's the competitive advantage you think American business might have in Egypt or Africa in general over businesses in Egypt itself, and international business in, say, Europe, Latin America, or Asia, Middle East? Rachel,
Well,
you
our
want to
first,
start there, and then yeah, Shanika, go ahead.
yeah, our first advantage, Ricardo and Ola, thank you for the question, um, is our soft power as Americans. People respect the way that we conduct ourselves in business. They respect our culture. Of course, the media does a great job of supporting with that, but even when people interact with Americans outside of America, people always notice, how motivated we are, our willingness to collaborate and our know-how, right? We have a lot of expertise, education in the United States, whether it's, you're starting out in life or in business, it really is the standard. So having that behind us is like one of the main things that we rely on to open doors for ourselves here.
Awesome. Shanika?
Yeah, I'm so sorry. What was the question again?
No, we were talking about competitive advantage
Oh,
and how is it different
oh.
for Americans than other nationalities or other cultures, Latin America, Europe, etc.
And be honest, just the Egyptian culture just love America. Be honest. Let's be. If I was to be the realist about it, anything about America, they pretty much like it. They love the direction of the economy in America. And even when I'm just going to a store and I'm talking to a pharmacist, a lot of them have the dream of going to America and always say why. And it was like it's so much opportunity. And I always remind them that Egypt has way more opportunity here. You just need to take advantage of it. So when it comes to the American culture, they love it. When it comes to pricing, the price of American things here is the same as what we be paying in the U.S. So or maybe even more because of just it's not very accessible to have American things. So when it comes here, they do sell.
Awesome, awesome. And I wanted to ask, obviously there is tension, some geopolitical tension in the Middle East. And I can't help but ask, like, how is this affecting, is it at all, if any at all, is it affecting in from your perspective, business in the region, in Egypt?
Of course, it's
So
affected. Yes,
Go
sorry.
ahead, Rachel.
Yeah, of course, it's affected business in the region. And there are many reasons which are probably too complex to go into on this call. But at the same time, the first thing that you should know is that Egypt is safe. The country is excellent at diplomacy, okay? And it is really a safe place to live, whether we have conflicts around us or not. Very low crime rate and very low incident rate in general. When it comes to the opportunities that are coming to us from outside, of course, as you guys know, the GCC, a lot of the projects there have stopped because they are directly affected. So, we are seeing people pivot to Egypt as a result of that, and that's one thing that is really positive. Of course, it's not positive that there's a conflict, but there's a silver lining to everything, and that's something that we're seeing right now.
Yeah. No, thank you for sharing that. We appreciate it. So we're going to go ahead and launch our poll. Every week we have a poll just to check your temperature. So please participate by letting us know what you think, particularly about Egypt as we continue the question. If you have a question for these ladies, please, you are welcome to come on stage by raising your hand and ask your question, or you can put it into the chat. I see another question around healthcare, and just wanted to kind of know how is healthcare there? Do you have sort of health? What's this outlook or status of the healthcare in Egypt?
So the status of healthcare here, Egypt is actually opening their market to medical tourism here. So if you're trying to get into medical tourism, or you know how Turkey is doing everything, Egypt is positioning themselves right now. They're actually opening a whole medical city by the New Cairo, in the new capital area, which is absolutely beautiful. When it comes to doing esthetician and everything like that, it's always available here. It's cheaper. I do utilize med spas here. When it comes to just beauty standards, it is cheaper and relatively available for a lot of people, especially if you're coming here for a vacation or even if you live here. I utilize it once a week.
Yeah. I want to ask you about technology too, and just also AI, because it's almost inevitable to not have that conversation. How what's your perspective on the tech in Egypt and how does technology, including AI and digital platforms, how does it really make it easier to do business and to grow your partnerships, etc. in Egypt? Rachel, maybe I'll start with you.
Yes, Ricardo. So Egypt has a huge entrepreneurial and tech, um, tech movement. There are many startups here that have, done tens of millions or hundreds of $1 million in exits, and so there's a competitive space for doing business in that arena here. And also, I'd just like to highlight that because of the cost of living here and because of the cost of labor, that means there's a great opportunity for companies that are outside of Egypt to take advantage and grow their businesses as well. But Egypt is, right, they're in lockstep. I'm not going to say in lockstep, but they're pacing, with the rest of the world. There are a lot of people here that are knowledgeable about it. And some of the folks that we know in the investment as well as the startup ecosystem are just doing such great work there. So if you're open or interested in finding out more about that and connecting with us, please do reach out.
Yeah, awesome. And
Yeah.
I must say that you guys are coming to the conference, right? You are planning on bringing in a delegation into the conference. So if you are interested in meeting Shenika and Rachel in person, please join the conference, and we can set up B2B matchmaking meetings between you and these ladies, so that you can learn more, and as well as the delegates that they're bringing in. But because we talk a lot about sort of Egypt, but there are opportunities, as you're here in the US, there are opportunities to help Egyptian companies to soft launch or to actually do business here. What are some of the feedback that you've been getting, Shanika and Rachel, about Egyptians wanting to do business in America, and what are some of the interests that you're getting from local Egyptian?
Such a positive feedback. It's so many Egyptian companies that are trying to expand out in America, and they're looking for partners and stakeholders that will be able to help them expand out here. That's why we created our OBLX Hub here. It's just so that we can be able to connect those people. So if you do have any interest in connecting with businesses out here, please just shoot me or Rachel an email, and we can try to put something together before we come out there to the Go Global conference.
Fantastic. And we're looking forward to having you in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And there's I think someone posted another question in terms of the renewable energy. So can you speak a little bit about sort of the status of renewable energy, or the activities thereof in Egypt? What's your perspective? Are you seeing a lot of solar roof and solar, tell us a little bit about that, Rachel.
Yeah, there's a ton of activity. Egypt is actually in the process of constructing its first nuclear power plant. There are desalination projects everywhere, and there is a very big push, again, backed by the government related to sustainability, because ensuring that Egypt is involved with sustainable practices and manufacturing ensures that we can do business with the rest of the world because there are so many regulations and things around that. So that is a very important sector in the country, and definitely worth looking into if that's your industry.
Fantastic. And it seems like you have definitely the attention of entrepreneurs on the call. And certainly, I believe we also have your attention as Egyptian businesses to create that corridor and to create that linkages. As we wrap this up, because we're coming up on the hour now, and we're going to be out of here in any minute. We've got 47% of you have already completed the poll, and I like to reveal it when I'm at 50% or so. So I'll wait for you if you'd like to. I know some of you may still be writing and try to get your answer in. But I want to ask you both, just one of my final sets of question. Um, what is, if someone is listening to you today, just really wanting to begin exploring this market, Egypt, over the next couple of months, maybe 6 months or so? What do you recommend the first two, three things that they need to do, sort of step one, step two, step three kind of stuff? We'll start with you, Rachel.
So if you're interested in finding out more about Egypt, of course, you need to have a good connection here. There are people that come to Egypt on their own, but having the right people in your corner is going to make things a lot smoother. So contact us. That's something that I would definitely recommend doing. And you don't have to necessarily work with us or partner with us. We'll not try to sell you anything, but we'll let you know what opportunities are available and how we can support and point you in the right direction if we're not the ones to help.
Awesome. Shanika?
Um, when it comes to here, I think doing your research and knowing exactly what you want to do and how to sell it to people because you may think your idea that works maybe in America and it probably will work here, but you might have to take a different route on convincing them and take it to a more when doing market on a more personal level helps out a whole lot. So.
Awesome, awesome. Well, ladies, the poll is out. I ended the poll and I want to kind of share the result with you and with everyone, just so that you can see. So, folks, this is 50% of the folks have really sort of been introduced to Egypt for the first time. So, you did a good job in really bringing that consciousness. We thank you. We see that folks are interested. I mean, folks are interested in doing business there. And a lot of that's coming out of strategic partnerships. So having someone on the ground, and we're really hoping that our relationship will go further and you will be our POC, right? So, and I know that we're in the process of working with Shanika as well as Rachel to be regional leads for Egypt, which is an amazing thing. It's a great thing to be in company and to be in community. So we certainly love that. So if you need a POC, you need GOC, right? And we see that folks are definitely considering you guys as a gateway, and so that is amazing. And for those of you who are not yet member, 39% of you are not yet member of the chamber. I'm asking you why. Why not? Why aren't you in this circle? We have private community groups that we talk and we do business with each other. We share information and opportunities with each other. So I don't understand why you aren't here. But anyways, I would certainly love to thank both of you. If you have any final bit of advice or word that you want to leave with us as we wrap things up, Rachel and Shanika. Any final bit of advice from any of you?
Rachel,
Uh,
you can go first.
okay, I think we're both seeing who'll go first, but yeah, my final bit of advice is, you know what, Ricardo's absolutely right. I just want to thank you also, Ricardo, and this whole community because it's, just finding out about you all in the past few months have opened so many doors for me and for Shanika. So this is definitely a place to be if you are looking to expand internationally. And like I said, it's just, think about people first, because we're how the world goes round.
Fantastic, fantastic. Shanika.
When it comes to any last words for me, I just know as a Black girl from Wisconsin, to be opening a business in Africa, a physical business, that it is surreal. And it is, I just letting people know like anything is possible. It is opportunities out here. Take advantage. Just know that you can do, whatever you want. You just have to be, have some courage and put yourself out there.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, ladies and gentlemen, today's conversation, I hope, remind us that global business begins with curiosity. It begins with the sort of the intention to grow through relationship and succeed through preparation and partnership. And so Egypt is far more than just a destination. So when you go back there, you plan and go there, remember that it is a strategic gateway that connects continent with each other. It connects culture and it connects commerce. And so for you as an entrepreneur, you're willing to do the learning, you're willing to build the trust, and you're willing to think long term, this offers you a tremendous potential for collaboration and growth. So as a GOC, we thank you. We appreciate you. The hour has passed. This is the Power Hour. Next week we'll be right here, same time. We're going to be heading to Nigeria next week. We're going to be bringing in the Lagos Chamber of Commerce as we work on an MOU together. They have an Invest Nigeria session coming up in September that we would love for you guys to join us out there in Lagos. So, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for your time today. I want to thank you for jumping in and being such an incredible guest. Thank you, Shenika. Thank you, Rachel, for being a part of what we're doing. So have a good day, everybody, and we'll definitely see you same time, same place next week on the next Power Hour. We're out.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Thank you so much.
Cash almost don't exist anymore. Don't really exist. That started over a decade ago.
same technology to Atlanta Airport. One thing, this unit is going to be just behind the wooden panels there on a little booth. Please come and put your hands into these beautiful slots here. Thank you.
Thank you. I finished it, so it's good.
With someone, first I'd like to do, like you said, step outside of the sales zone. Some of our students, when we're having a conversation with them about going to other countries, this is what you need to look for, what you need to be accepting of when you visit.
Thank you, everybody. See you next week.